Greetings, high flyers. How are the currents you are feeling today? We see you syncing up more now with what is altered within you. You are starting to feel a sense of hopefulness as you start to feel the emergence of your refined and uplifted field, which is coming into a more coherent arrangement. As you emerge in states of greater and greater coherence in each level of upliftment, they are not levels, but you might think of them as such, because they feel so different. As you emerge in these new states of coherence, your energy field is actually in a new arrangement, which is creating the coherence. So you have incorporated new aspects into your energy field, by bringing them forth from within your DNA, and released others. It is for you to facilitate all of this with your willingness to support the body and be with yourself, in these moments of deep rearranging and reformatting. So all of this is possible because of your interest at a soul level and in your interest, in human life, in cooperating and collaborating with these larger units of your own self. That, dear friends, takes the experience you are having into realms that are elevated and powerful for the evolution of the cosmos. The cosmos. Yes, indeed, were you expecting that? Wink. We wonder and feel amused at being able to say things like this to you as if we were the messengers of some very big and cool news. Do you get that? Because that's what this is, some big and very cool news to you. Of course, in your higher levels, in the cosmic consciousness you are metaphorically, rolling your non-physical eyes at us. We wink as we say this, because of course you already know these things. However, we are feeling amused by being able to play with you, and transmit this message, which makes this inner knowing sort of an announcement in the earth world to you. So please do humor us. Allow us to play with you. After all, this is one of the most exquisite energies in your world, this ability to be fluid and flexible and let humor and play be such simple and easy ways of knowing delight. Delish. We must say delish, for we know this is a favorite word of a few people here, and we are in the mood to please you with your favorites and simply, to uplift and delight you with the deliciousness of being you at this now moment in time, in all that is. And to tell you why, you too ought to feel so exquisitely happy. Dear ones, in all seriousness now, we want to ask you, are you feeling your fan club? Are you feeling the many focal points of light that are watching you with keen curiosity and amazement? For indeed they are present. They are present in a way in which you can sense them if you open to them, with this awareness. So if you let yourself tune to these energies, which are being truly, deeply, more than you can even imagine, very inspired by the possibilities you are creating. So we're going to talk more about why it is feeling this way. These beings are being very inspired by the possibilities you are creating, and if you tune to this, you could make this whole challenge of divine embodiment so much more fun for you. You could pause and acknowledge your fan club. And listen to your own heart, and your inner knowing as they share with you, a deep comprehension, of the fundamental effect your creativity and courage, your bold, amazing transformation, is having in their own understanding, the understanding of your fan club. About their world and their own civilizations and cultures. For you see, the civilization and culture of your world are already renaissancing. We like that word, we just made it up. Renaissancing. Do you get it? There is a lot of creativity happening here. So a lot of power being wielded with expanded focus here. And the energy that you have brought to work, and the energy that you have achieved with your own challenges as you really, and most importantly, as you fully, embrace that you are the creator of your experience. Wow! That's the stuff of dreams for so many other cultures, and we are not kidding. We are not prone to hyperbole in saying this. The resolution of difficult energies is paramount for other cultures to witness. It's paramount in order for them to feel the possibility of opening up their worlds to greater freedom. Do you realize this? Many worlds are not that free. Many domains of experience are more constrained. They do not know how to resolve the challenges they feel sure they would have, if there were to experience the intensity of immense contrast. As we have been working together, you are spending time focusing on being more sovereign. On creating a more neutral and peaceful experience from your state of awareness. We have spent a tremendous amount of time together, you and I, letting go of the need to control others in order to achieve this and to realize you can do it, yourself. You are learning, as you do this, that you don't need the world to change. It doesn't mean you might not like things to be different. However, you are getting, deeply, profoundly, that you don't need the world to clean up its act for you to be happy. You, in fact, are setting your world free. Even more. So you are moving beyond these ideas that the only way to peaceful embodiment is to limit what happens outside of you, because otherwise you can't handle it. You are taking your own power. You are creating your own experience from the focus of your awareness and from paying attention to you. Do you see, dear ones, the incredible intentionality to the sequence of the Soar Fests? How this sequence in general is useful as you consider your own remembering and reclaiming of your capacity. We started with a basic introduction to the new harmonics. We encouraged you to invite the higher units, the higher levels of you into the game. We spent many days talking about how you might do this and also supporting you because you allowed this. We were able to entrain you into a more refined energy of embodiment. To support you in opening up your resonance to all that you are, more fully so that you could embody more of this and let it come in. Then we focused on abundance, primarily financial. The fears and lack of confidence many of you have about money, keep you from feeling and embracing the freedom you have here. Embracing that freedom is essential to your mission. Then we moved to self-love, to begin to get you really tuned into you. To create a state of attentiveness to you where sovereignty could be achieved. So you could have the experience of realizing you don't need other people to change to find happiness. Then we turned to the embodiment of your higher levels, because the eclipses and the equinox set up the perfect platform for this, and your self-love made greater level of embodiment possible. This self-love created the potential that your creation would be fueled by its alignment with divine will. So here we are now, because you love you, much more. So you feel much more capable and free. Are much more clarified in your physical form, and in the material way you are present. Here we are now, having shared and worked with ideas of setting your standards. Remember, the whole focus on self-love was fundamentally about creating standards for your experience. Now, because you are capable of setting standards that support your upliftment and expansion, now we're talking about relationships. We are now preparing you to take the reins in your world. That's what's happening. We're now preparing you to take the reins in your world, in a way that you cannot even yet fathom. That's what all of this is about. Of course you can take these reins now, anytime you wish. However, to operate well with them, you have to cultivate. You have to cultivate your capacities, as we have been discussing recently. So today we are talking a bit about the very big picture. The really big cosmic picture. To empower you by putting all of this in a context that is more universal. So you can expand your awareness and begin to see that wholeness you have long been told you're influencing is a thing that will fuel your joy, and give you a great sense of meaning in what you are doing as you understand more about the why. These other worlds, these worlds that, in fact, so many of you think, or have thought. We hope you're not thinking this anymore, in the same way you're growing in your neutrality about all kinds of things. Because for a long time, as you remembered these other worlds, as you awoke to your multidimensionality, you thought these other worlds were better than Earth. So many of you wish at times to return to some of these other worlds. So many of you looked up to these other cultures like the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, these other worlds in which you are present in another way. That is why you feel an affinity with them. Why at times you want to return there. These other worlds are not better, they're just different. So most essential to the understanding we are transmitting today, the really cool big news we're talking about, is to realize, these other worlds are less creative. A lot less creative. The reason for this? They have a lot less contrast. A lot less freedom, and they're watching and learning from you. You have known for a long while that Earth is a free will universe. We call it a universe because it is, unto itself, a wholeness of profound individuality. A unit of incredible diversity and contrast and freedom, and because of all this, immense creativity. So these other worlds that feel so resonant with you and which you herald from in some ways, many of you, are beautiful. However, they have less freedom, and they have less contrast, and as a result, they have less creativity. And they are, and this is why they are, very interested in how you, dear ones, would find a way to feel love and know who you are, amidst this plethora of diversity, and contrast. Amidst the intensity of the distractions here. So you, are showing them how it's done. You're showing them how it's done, in fact, you're showing them that it can be done. You're now walking a new pathway of light. So this idea that your world has been of interest to the whole universe, it may have seemed very abstract to you before, but we hope now you're getting it. You're not doing what was aspired to by so many, which is finding peace by removing the intensity and the contrast from your experience. So some people have done this even on earth, by being a monk for example. Only interacting with other monks, which is in a much more controlled setting, with much more structure and much less freedom and most definitely less contrast. You're not doing that. So you're also not living within a closed community of religious tradition, which has also been another way in the past that people did this. They only associated with people who had the same beliefs as them. There are still a lot of people that think that's the only way to go. Who think everybody has to believe the same thing. We want you to recognize in these perspectives that think this is the only way to go, is a lack of self-confidence. It is the lack of self-confidence that is being expressed. We have shared with you so many times that real confidence comes from experience. So because you are opening up yourself to let the fullness of your being experience earth with you, you are in effect, seeding a tiny bit of self-confidence into the mix of a lot of other cultures about working with the contrast as you do so with so much skill. So most of you have not moved to the boondocks. Most of you have not removed yourself from all kinds of contrast and connections as a way of finding peace. We do understand that most of you have had long periods of inwardly focused time in order to facilitate your remembering and your ascension. However, most of you have stayed very involved in the world, even though you may not see it this way. Because many of you have spouses, friends, and lovers, and children, and parents, who are living in the world, and this is part of the plan. This is why we always encouraged you to trust these people to do it their own way. To not feel you need to try and change others. Your pathway in sovereign neutrality. You are here to find the inner well of peace and happiness, and find your sovereign neutrality, and rise up into a more expansive cosmic expression of your being, and then to take the reins. To take the reins and create a new earth. So to do this you did not want any of your freedom to be removed. You did not want any of the contrast to be, destroyed or disappeared by someone else. You wanted all this contrast to be present to inspire you. So that you would have boatloads of ideas for how you could then see, how things might be to your preferencing, more beautiful, more harmonious, more amazing in your experience. To create an experience for you of vision and possibility. You are capable of this sovereign, neutral, free state of feeling the underlying unity and feeling the contrast, and working with all of it. This is the newness, people. This is the newness that everything aspires to in the ascension of your planet and the embodiment of divine fullness in each of you. Feeling the underlying unity and knowing it to be the truth of your being. Knowing you are innately harmonious with everyone and everything. Realizing that you are eternal and this is simply a game which takes all the fear out of the picture in any real way. And then, in your sovereign, self-loving, attentive state with standards of neutrality, opening up to all that you are, rising in frequency. Rising beyond contentment. Reaching for, as humans are designed to do, the optimum, the imagined perfection, the sense of beauty and exquisiteness that comes from the essence and uniqueness of Source as you. So creating from this perspective. Using your powerful presence, your neutral awareness of others, your uniqueness in presence, to feel the joy of your own preferences. To feel the eagerness and enthusiasm for what you enjoy most. Rising so much more into these states of anticipation and happiness that you find again your current, in human form, which you will experience as the rush of passion. So as you step into your passion and live from and as your passion, you will know bliss, in embodied form, within all this contrast, and in awareness of the innate unity and harmony you have with everything. This, lovely ones, is showing everyone, every point of focus, in every corner of creation, so to speak, that the contrast is not to be feared. That the contrast can be the fuel to exquisite material experiences of upliftment and love and true being. You are emboldening all of life to open up more. To feel confident enough to allow more freedom and contrast in, so creativity can flourish. This is why Earth is so important. This is why you are so amazing. This is why you have a fan club. Land, this is why you are the family of light, known throughout creation for your boldness, for your creativity, for your powerful, amazing, fearlessness in entering into realms and doing stuff like this. This is why this time in which you are now focused, has been heralded and anticipated for so long. It was not, so you could eliminate everything irritating outside of you to feel good. You are not here to get everybody to think as you, in order to find peace. It was learning to use your awareness to create your states of being and in doing so, to set everyone and everything free. Freedom is what this is all about. Freedom and creativity. You are liberating these qualities of experience throughout creation, which is making the expansion of awareness that you, as the unit that functions as all that is, as source, you're making the expansion of awareness which you crave innately as source creation, more and more possible. For this, we are so excited. I am Archangel Michael.